Hi and welcome, I'm Jim Marsden, this is Gigglepin Winches and we're here today to talk about this. This is the legendary GP100 winch, first designed by us and launched back in 2017. Over 800 units have now been sold all around the world and they dominate podiums wherever they race. But this winch is not just a racing winch. You'll also find them in military service, you'll also find them in the rescue industry and also in many other industries besides. I've seen them slung under helicopters, I've seen them in the backs of lorries, I've seen them in the biggest swamps, I've seen them pulling jet skis up on beaches in the Maldives. So this winch is not just about off-roading. But what makes this winch so great? Back in 2007 we launched our GP80. It was a twin motor revolution. Since then we've learned an awful lot. And in 2017 we launched this, the GP100. It's still a twin motor winch. What does that mean? It means it has two motors and two solenoids driving this upright gearbox. So we can have twice the speed and twice the power of its single motor counterparts. But let's take a look at the top housing. So this is the top housing for the GP100. Very different to the top housing that we saw on the GP80. We'll notice that first of all, it's much narrower, so we can get to these bolts easier down the sides. We'll also notice that the motors are set back in a little bit further, so we can also get to these bolts easier as well. So if we get a problem or a maintenance issue, it's much easier to work with. The cover plate here, it's got this beautiful two-pack screen printed logo on it, but behind here is an O-ring seal, keeping maintenance on point and nice and simple. Inside here, EN36 gears, 6 different ratios available as standard, and we could also have Hellfire gears and Hurricane gear sets to take us up to a whopping 76% faster than a worn 8274. That's nearly 3 meters a second when we're off-load. That's crazy. One of the things that we learned all those years ago is that weight is king, so we wanted to get this winch as light as possible. We started with the gear set, but we know that we can't afford to risk our reliability. So we've redesigned the 7550 and redesigned the 7548. Just between these two gears, we saved over 1 kilo in weight. On these also, we changed the brake pull mount. This has now got a stainless steel removable brake pull mount. So if we have a problem with wear, we can change this piece out. Easy. These also have our latest and best main shaft. So this is the super shaft that I designed right back in 2003, and this is the latest version. This one actually has the cam gear built into the shaft itself for extra strength and more reliability. As we said earlier, these winches comes with 2 motors, they also come with 2 solenoids, and we offer variations on those. So for your go-to 12 volt and 24, it will be the Bow Motor 2, super reliable and works in all conditions. If you want to play at the top end, you might want to be considering a Bow Motor 2 Plus in 12 volt or 24 volt. This is the ideal motor for overvolting options. This is where we put 24 volt through a 12 volt motor, giving us about a 25% increase on speed and power, and moving our power to the mid-range of the power point, making the winch much more versatile for those competition situations. All of these winches come fitted with an air free spool as standard. What does that mean? That means that, that when you're sitting inside the cab, you can press a button either on your control panel or on your handset, and the co-driver or you can then dispatch the cable as fast as you can walk or run. When you're taking the cable to the point that you want to start winching, just lock it with the press of a button and you're ready to winch. That simple. Another thing worth talking about is the Fairleads on these GP100s. Completely redesigned from the old ones. These are all hand forged in the UK and then beautifully polished. But these aren't just a thing of bling. These here are very, very carefully worked out. The throat dimension is very important. The width of the Fairlead is incredibly important. And this little bit here up the top here is not just for show. That adds a huge amount of strength as well. If we look at the solenoids, we've been working with Albright for many, many years. And this was our go-to, the DC88. Absolutely awesome little bit of kit. But then its big brother snuck up behind. Now, we first started playing with this DC182 around about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, but they weren't up to the job back then. Now we've got this really nice waterproof enclosure, and we've made some changes with Albright to bring this up to speed. This Pro 150 as we now call it is available fitted to the GP100 as standard, along with power bars. Check this one out down here. So these power bars on here, these have got a whopping 82mm cross section. That's nearly twice the size of our standard power bars. So if you're playing in the rough and you really want to play tough, you might want to consider these as an option when you order your winch. Still has an externally mounted brake on the side here, something that's really, really cool and works superbly well. We can also offer an instant stop motor brake system called the MBS. For more details on the MBS, the Hurricanes and the Hellfire gear sets, and a whole load more information about these fantastic GP100 winches, head on down to gigglepinwinches.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.